Here we are, episode 2 here, Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books. We got Onas Hanekamp right here. We're talking to him. In the first episode, in the segment there, you saw him explain a little bit about how he got into cycling, biking, outdoor type sports and things as he was a young person working with his dad and whitewater rafting and all that kind of deal. That was great to know a little bit about Onas's background, what he's done. In our second segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books and how it come about and how in the world it got here in Garrett, Kentucky. So, Onas, you know, with all the professionalism and the certification that you had up there that you gained,
Yep.
How in the world did you get the concept of doing that here in Garrett, Kentucky? How did it come about?
Well, the name Hanekamp Manor, when the wife and I got married in 2019.
Now you got to remember that. Now you know that.
Yeah, I know. September 14th.
There you go.
As a wedding gift, one of my ushers in the wedding created a live edge board that says Hanekamp Manor on it.
Wow.
I mean, we live in a small trailer, but it was named Hanekamp Manor for us.
Yeah.
And then that's where the name came from.
Okay.
Then through COVID, when COVID started, I lost my job. Which
a lot of people did.
A lot of people lost their job.
Yeah.
And at the time, my wife was pregnant. She's disabled. We found out we were going to have a baby. And it was one of those things, we sat down one night and decided, what can we do so I can stay here at the house to help my wife and make a little bit of money here on the side.
Sure.
So I've been a certified bike mechanic since '92.
Yeah.
So I had all my tools here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? What if we start a bicycle shop?
Wow.
I'll do the bike side. She's an author. So let's throw it together. Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books.
Yeah.
We started the bike shop as a whimsical type of thing in our carport here. I didn't have much of a setup. I had a small repair stand.
Right.
I bought a little tiny cheap air compressor. I had my bike stand, which is almost 60 years old. This thing's traveled with me wherever I've gone. And it was just one of them things we started. We advertised and we had some inventory caught up. And we're getting ready to really get things going. We just posted on Facebook. And I had a gentleman hit us up one night. Can you work on my bike? I'm like, sure, bring it by. We'll see what you need. And that gentleman happened to be from Texas. He was here during the remodel and the rebuilding of Martin.
Yeah.
He was the one that was he had the contract to lay all new water lines in Martin. He brought his bike with him and he messed it up riding the local trails. And here I was, some little oddball bike shop. Hadn't had a customer yet, set up here to do bicycle repairs. And here we are. He was my first customer. In the time that he's been here, oh, by the way, hi, Charlie. Charlie, that's my first guy.
Okay.
Didn't make a lot of money off Charlie, but he was my initial
good customer
here.
Yeah.
He hasn't been around for 3 or 4 years, but we still talk on Facebook.
Yeah.
Still good friends. But yeah, so we started it. The following spring, the government was throwing money at everybody. Just throwing money out there. Anybody who'd lost their job was getting money. A lot of people spent that money on guns, TVs, things like that. My wife and I put the money aside and we built a 10 by 10 shop to house Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books. It has since gotten cram-packed full of tools, cram-packed full of stuff, and her books are no longer in there, but we have her books in the house. So if anybody stops by and wants to buy one of her books, we have them here.
That's great.
You can also go online and get them, but
yeah.
I'm the bike guy.
Yeah.
I'm a mechanic. I like to turn a wrench. And I'm not just here to fix your bike. If you want to talk bikes, come hang out. That's why we got this new carport.
That's great.
Come hang out and talk bikes.
Yeah. Well, do you see a need for that here locally in Garrett? Are there anything going on out there?
Here in Garrett, yeah, there's a need for it here in Garrett. A lot of the bikes that I service are your big box store bikes. So yeah, there's a need for that.
Okay, great. Well, that's the second segment here. We're talking about with Onas Hanekamp here, Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books, and we're so privileged to be able to get a little insight, and that's what we're going to talk about in episode 3, maybe a little bit more about bikes and things, so you stay tuned with us. Terry Salyer here, Mountain Association. We're talking with Deedra Hanekamp here at Hanekamp Manor Bikes and Books. We're focusing with Deedra here right on the publishing. Deedra, we asked a question there in that first segment. We were talking about style. Is there particularly styles in writing, and how does people really choose what's best for them, or how did you get into choosing a style that works for you, or the best style when it comes to your writing skills?
Well, there's several different styles of writing. The style that I tend to write in would fall in line with what would be acceptable in British literature, because it's what I love to read. I grew up reading, and well, with PBS, you watch British television, and I fell in love with that.
Wow.
So I styled mine after some of the British shows that I had watched, along with Agatha Christie and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. That was 2 of my top favorite authors. So as you develop your writing style, it's good to look at what do you like to read.
That's good. Now, let me ask you this. Is there any British in your background, your family history, or anything that would cause you maybe to have that like, or what's your ancestry, I guess, as far as you know?
My ancestry is extremely mixed, and yes, there is some English, there's Scottish, and Irish in my roots.
So United Kingdom is there in a big way. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Good. How would a person come about? You mentioned that probably your ancestry or things that you like. Tell me about fiction, nonfiction, or whatever. Some people like to, do documentaries or a true story after somebody, and then some people kind of, I don't know, you could call it nonfiction, make it up or whatever, a fantasy story or whatever. So what would be the difference there? Because you have fiction, nonfiction writers, I guess, out there.
Well, a lot of people, we talk about genre. What genre do you like to write in? Whether it's nonfiction, and even within nonfiction, you have the genre of criminal. There's stuff specifically about court cases or things that have happened to that nature. And in fiction, of course, fantasy, and it's still the same. You'll have your murder mystery, romance. There's different genres. And often people gravitate towards whatever they enjoy, like the movies you watch, the books you read. What do you like? And that tends to be where people start.
Writing to me is, it's very similar. My background's kind of in music, and everybody says, oh, you wake up at 11 o'clock, then good Lord above gives you a music or a song to put together. But I know myself as being a writer, there's a lot of technical skills that go into writing. With you, is it something you just, boom, here I get an idea, you write it down, or this and that, or is there any technical things you really have to learn in order to be a good writer?
Well, there's 2 different types of writers. We have people who are planners, and we have pantsers. That means they kind of go in by the seat of their pants. And I fall somewhere in between.
Okay.
I actually struggle with writing. It's one of the things. My spelling is atrocious, and my grammar is atrocious. But my storytelling is my strong point. So I have to work really hard at my grammar and my spelling portion of it. So some people, there's classes you can take to help you, and some people benefit from that. And some people are just naturally good at putting sentences together, but maybe not good at the storytelling aspect. So they have to work harder to tell a story than to get the technical grammar and spelling correct.
So I guess grammar and spelling, of course, to me, I'm a horrendous speller or whatever, but those are important elements. So you kind of hit on a point we can talk about in the next segment, which I think you've got a lot of experience there too, is editing. It's good sometimes to work with somebody to where they can look over, you know, the storyline or the manuscript that you're putting together. So editing for me, I would have to have somebody to be able to read my stuff or correct my spelling or whatever. I'm more of a plot person, I guess, you know, a lot like you. So in this next segment, let's focus on maybe editing and some of your experience there. That will help a lot of the writers out there in the future. We'll cover that in the next segment.